You don't have to worry, I'm only going to speak 2 minutes. You believe that? No, honestly, I'm not going to try to burn it up in over. Saturday, I went to Farmers Market in Atlanta, Georgia to buy some flowers for my wife, and had some very beautiful flowers. And they asked me, is that for Christmas? I said, no! And the guy standing next to me, an elderly white man, he started laughing. He was laughing so hard. And I grabbed him and I said, no, I don't mean anything by it. So I'm standing in the line at the cashier, and I see a sign. Georgia law prohibits selling alcohol to those under 21. What about that? All over the country, all over the world, they say this person prohibits this and this person prohibits that. What about the law? I'm making a recommendation that you read this article. It appeared in the New York Post, July 30th, 2002, entitled, "The Evil Isn't Islam," written by a man named Daniel Pipes. If you know anything about Daniel Pipes, you know that he's always criticizing Islam. And in this article, he tried to criticize Muslims in Islam, but he wound up praising Islam. Listen to some of the excerpts. He said, 500 years ago, Jews, Christians, and Muslims agreed that paying interest on money was not acceptable. They agreed. After bitter, protracted debates, Jews and Christians changed their mind. No religious or Christian group had any qualms about paying reasonable interest. Muslims, in contrast, still think the old way. To enable pious Muslims, to enable them to avoid interest, an Islamic financial industry worth an estimated $150 billion developed. By the way, now it is $2.5 trillion. Why I say that? I am the least of all of you. I don't care how old I am the least of every one of you. Why? Because all these years you've been practicing Islam. Alhamdulillah, you came and we learned from you. I learned the faith from some of you. I learned the faith by coming to mass conventions, ICNA conventions. And Allah blessed me to learn Islam and to love Islam. And I'm going to leave you with 2 things, just 2 thoughts. Every one of you I love. Every one of you. Tina Turner asked the question, well, what does love have to do with it? Here to say tonight that love has everything to do with it. Umar radiallahu anhu, I love him. So, Ya Rasulullah, anta habbu ilayya min kulli shay'in illa nafsi. You are more beloved to me than anyone except myself. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يا لا عمر حتى أكون أحب إليه من نفسك. No, you you don't have real faith until I am more loved by you even than yourself. Umar's response, Al-an ya Rasulullah la'anta habbu ilayya min nafsi. You are now more beloved than myself. And the Prophet said, Umar, you got it right. If I would ask you how many of you love the Prophet, every one of you say yes. But I'm going to tell you something. As much as you think you love the Prophet, and you do, I'm here tonight to tell you that none of us love the Prophet more than he loves us. I close with this. I asked one of the students, if you had one wish, what would you wish for? He said, Imam, I would wish that me and my family go to Jannah. I said, I thought that. The Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said that Allah gave all the prophets a supplication that would be answered. And he said that the prophets, they hurried to make this supplication. He said, I kept mine for Yom Qiyamah. Why? You think you love the Prophet? Really? Can I tell you what real love is? The Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, raised his hands and said, Allahumma ummati ummati wa bakah. Allah, my ummah, and he began to cry. Allah sent Jibril, اذهب إلى محمد فأسأله ما يبكيك. Go to Muhammad and ask him, why is it that he's crying? Allah knows the answer. But he's teaching us a lesson. Why is he crying? He's crying for his ummah. And what did he say his supplication for? What? Yom al-Akhir. Why? As an intercession for his believers. I want you to imagine as I conclude Yom al-Qiyamah. 50,000 years, people standing. It's so bad that they say, bring on the hellfire. I can't take it anymore. 50,000 years standing. And when that day happens, all of mankind is concerned. There's a category of 7 individuals or groups of people who will be under the shade of Allah. One of them is those who love one another for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I see a lot of you I just love, honestly. Wish I can come and hug all of you, the brothers.
I love you, man.
So now on that day, the people want to get help. And go to Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. Ya Adam, anta abu bashar khalaqaka biyadihi. Allah created you with his own hands and he breathed into you the spirit. Put you in the Jannah. Can you help us? Let's do laha, I'm not fit for it. Idhabu ila Qadi, idhabu ila Noah. 950 years he preached. Let's go to Noah. I'm not fit for it. اذهبوا إلى غير اذهبوا إلى إبراهيم خليل الله. Khalil Allah. In the Bible, in the Quran, he's the friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Surely he can help. Let's do that. Not fit for it. اذهبوا إلى غير اذهبوا إلى موسى. Let's do that. اذهبوا إلى عيسى. I'm not fit for it. اذهبوا إلى محمد. I'm the one. And I want you to listen as I close. From this hadith, we learn that there will be some Muslims in the hellfire. Sheikh mentioned some of them. I pray Allah protect all of us from the hellfire. But some will be there for different reasons. And Allah will tell the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, take out of the hellfire those whom you recognize, who have faith the size of a mustard seed. So brothers and sisters, I close. Can I leave with a question that Aisha radiallahu anha asked her husband, the messenger? Can I leave you? Then I go. You gonna let me? Okay. She said, Ya Rasulullah, هل أتى عليك يوم كان أشد من يوم أحد? Has it been a day more difficult than the day of Uhud? And the reason she's asking that question, that's a horrible day. I can't even think of anything worse than that. He said, yes. What day was more difficult than Uhud? He said when he went to Taif to teach the people Islam. How many of us are teaching the people in Islam in Chicago, in New York, in Detroit, in Philadelphia? How many of us are teaching the people? And they rejected the prophet. I remember once the prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said that there was a prophet that was beaten so much by his people that he wiped the blood from his face and Allahumma forgive Allah forgive my people, but they don't know. Some say he was talking about himself, Allah. That day was more difficult. They rejected him, they threw stones at him. He was walking away dejected, and all of a sudden, it was a shade. He looked up, and behold, the angel Jibril. Ya Muhammad, Allah has heard what your people have done to you, and sent the angel of the mountains, so that you can order them what to do. And then the angel of the mountains, Assalamu alaikum, Ya Muhammad. Allah has sent me to let you order me so that I can throw down the mountain on them. And the Prophet ﷺ said, I hope that Allah will raise from their loins those who believe in Allah, worship Allah, no association. And it happened. Why? How do you feel about the people? How do you feel about the people in America? It's our job. Look what the Prophet did to us. Look what he did. A few years, 10 years, 13 years in Mecca, 10 years in Medina. Never been fought in Mecca. Never. Why? Allah didn't give them the commandment to fight. Not until they moved to Medina, Allah said, "Qatilu fi sabilillah alladhina yuqatilunakum." La ta'tadu inna Allah la yuhibbu. Fight in the way of Allah, those who fight against you. They asked the question, how many fights was the Prophet in? How many wars? 19. How many fights have we been in? All I want us brothers and sisters to have confidence. I may not know a lot of Islam, but you know what? I have confidence in the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, and his love and the love of you. May Allah bless you and bless Mass and bless it and bless all of our organizations for all the great work that you do. We love you. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khairan. Imam Siraj, always a treat and a pleasure to listen to you. Jazakallah khairan. With that, inshallah, we'll conclude the program. We want to thank everyone for helping us raise almost $320,000 tonight. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. We hope you enjoy the rest of the convention, have safe travels home, and come back next year. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.